welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our top stories. Senate confirms appointment of former Kano Governor Ibrahim Shekarau and 3 others as ministers. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka says Boko Haram cannot disintegrate Nigeria. Edo House of Assembly crisis deepens with members impeaching the Deputy Speaker. And health ministers from 11 African countries converge on Accra in Ghana to discuss the worsening Ebola spread. Now, all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. You can also interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Now, delegates to the National Conference today spent time discussing the political future of the country. While agreeing on the need for rotational presidency, they also discussed state creation and federalism. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi reports.
It was a day spent on submissions on the report of the Committee on Political Restructuring and Forms of Government. Delegates rose to speak on the different aspects of the report, such as state creation, federalism, local government administration, and forms of government.
There should be an amendment that the office of president shall rotate between the north and the south. The office of governor shall rotate among the 3 senatorial districts in that state, and the office of chairman of the local government council shall rotate within the local government area.
I propose that we have to allow every geopolitical zone, or if you like, every state, to own its resources 100%.
The matter of local government administration was one issue that was passionately discussed.
Katsina was excised from Kaduna. Mr. Chairman, the remaining Kaduna in size and population is more than Katsina. Yes, Kaduna has 23 local government, Katsina has 34. Some friends would not have left this place with justice done to the minority of the people. By not allowing the state who knows the geopolitical and the geographical composition of their state to create state. Mr. Chairman,
they should remain where they are. If anybody wants more local government, Mr. Chairman, because where I come from, I cannot see myself going back and telling them that local government have been scrapped. No, they should remain where they are as part of the Constitution.
All we need to do is to recommend the alteration of Section 7.1 by having a provision that will make it impossible for a state legislation to include in that law provided in that section any provision that will empower a state governor to dissolve the local government or fight government.
While this was taking place inside, drivers and aides of the delegates were holding a protest outside the hall. They say they are appealing for allowances to be made available to them also.
Not to our direct bosses. We have no business with our direct bosses. We have no business with our direct bosses. We are begging government to do to us what it has been doing to others. Drivers and aides we are taking care of. We are giving allowances. Our own shouldn't be different. We have been here for the past 3 months, enduring, coming to work with hunger, spending from our pocket. At least we are good Nigerians.
This, however, did not disrupt the proceeding in the hall as delegates continued their submissions. Now, the conference is to focus on proposed amendments when it resumes on Thursday. And if the submissions made here are anything to go by, the recommendations will be keenly contested. Larry Lasisi, Channels Television News.
Well, we have more, certainly, on the news at 10, this time from our Abuja studios with Gloria.
Thank you, Suleiman, and welcome to the nation's capital. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has given a hard knock on the Islamist group Boko Haram, calling them enemy of unity. Professor Soyinka, who turns 80 in 2 weeks' time, told Reuters news agency that even though the bloodshed directly related to Boko Haram activities is worse than what happened during the Biafran War, it's not likely to disintegrate Nigeria.
There were atrocities which were committed, but you never had such a regular, getting to be near predictable level of carnage. I think this is what is horrifying. There's no war zone, there's no battle line, it's everywhere. It's not just in the northeast, for instance. It's here, right here where we're sitting. It's right down in Lagos, even though it has not manifested itself as brute in any dimension as brutal as in the northeast, but it's here. Some of those who were responsible for this predicament are now victims. The victims, they're calling out for help. They're calling to the full state, the federal government, other states. They're calling for assistance because they've discovered that it's a situation of when you say you're so holy, you cannot live with others. You're so pure, your beliefs are so specialized that they cannot accommodate other people. Then other forces come and say, oh, you say you are holy? Well, we are holier than you are. And therefore, our particular tenets must hold at the cost of the disintegration of the nation. For the first time, I think a sense of belonging, ironically, is predominating. And it's unlikely, because the forces which would like to see this nation break up, and I'm not sentimental about nations, I'm just speaking very objectively, the forces which would like to see that disintegration, a breakaway, are the very forces which will not be satisfied with having their own enclave.
It's 79 days since over 200 girls were kidnapped from a school in Chibok, Borno State, and the campaigners who advocate for the return of the students have expressed their displeasure with the federal government and security operatives over the silence on the rescue operations. A legal practitioner and child rights activist, Mrs. Mariam Uwais, told a news conference in Abuja that government has the responsibility to bring back the girls safe and sound. In her part, the coordinator of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign and former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, urged Nigerians not to relent in their advocacy for the return of the girls.
Tomorrow, the 3rd of July 2014, will be 80 days since the abduction of the Chibok girls. It will also be 37 days since the Chief of Defense Staff gave the May 26th informed the nation that they knew where the girls were and that rescue plans were at an advanced stage. We call this press conference today to express our deep concern that in spite of numerous assurances, the Chibok girls have still not been rescued. This has always been our position in the Bring Back Our Girls movement, that the responsibility of this rescue rests with our government and our security agencies. For the past 3 weeks, no substantive communication on the issue has come from the federal government or the presidency.
The important step for this group is to continue to elevate the discourse concerning the rescue of the Chibok girls. We need every stakeholder that cares about the safety of the Chibok girls to join with our voice to compel the swift actions that are necessary in order to rescue the Chibok girls. If by tomorrow it becomes 80 days of the girls not being rescued, it is a profound sense, it would be a profound sense of sadness.
As a strike embarked upon by the members of the Nigerian Medical Association enters its second day, there are no indications that respite is underway for patients who continue to groan in pains in hospitals across the country. But visits to some government hospitals around the country shows that there is 100% compliance by members of the Nigerian Medical Association, although other health workers are on hand to attend to cases of critical medical conditions.
With full compliance by doctors to the indefinite nationwide strike order, healthcare services remain epileptic at government hospitals across the country. Patients are already feeling the impact of the action, especially those who cannot afford private medical services. At the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, the strike is also 100% effective. In the absence of doctors, nurses and other medical officers still attend to cases within their jurisdictions. A doctor who pleaded anonymity said medical care is still offered to patients with critical conditions, at least to make sure they stabilize them while the strike lasts. It is the same situation at the Ondo State Specialist Hospital, Akure. There's a drastic reduction in the volume of traffic and activities in and around the hospital. Also at the General Hospital in Minna, Niger State, as well as government hospitals within the Kano metropolis, there are no signs of the presence of doctors. Patients sprawl along the corridors of wards, hoping to be attended to.
Before they were on strike, I've been treated by the doctor, but today the doctors are not coming because of their strike. But the nurses are trying, they attend to me as usual.
At the commencement of the strike, the leadership of the Nigerian Medical Association says there's no going back until its demands are met by the federal government. And so far, the directive seems to be successful in all the states.
As far as Niger State NMA is concerned, the strike is total.
We've not been able to have the doctors around, but the other health workers are committed. The little they can do concerning the patient will be done for the patient. And where there will be need for doctor's care, then we might not be able to handle that, and that might be referred to other necessary points or institutions.
On the whole, the NMA says the action is necessary to save the nation's healthcare system from collapsing. For now, stranded patients will have no option than to bear the pain and perhaps even gear up for the worst.
When the news at 10 returns, Rivers State Women Group discuss concern over inadequate electricity supply in the country. Join us again.